Hey there, I recently wanted to do an overhead shot, and so I looked at a bunch of different pieces of equipment online to see if I could find one that does a perfect overhead shot and that's easy to set up and flexible. And what I got exceeded my expectations. I got this, and I'll tell you more about it in just a second. Howdy, buckaroos. My name is Doug Fahl, and this is Augmented Actor, where we help you augment your acting career with tips, tactics, and tech. Why don't y'all whip us up some subscriptions by hitting that subscribe button? It's down below the video on YouTube. And before we get started, any product that I mentioned in this video, I have links to down in the YouTube description below. So check those out if you're interested in any of the products I'm about to mention. So I wanted to do these overhead videos, right? And in order to do that, you have to have a certain setup. Now there are different kinds of setups. So if you have a lot of space and like a studio with high ceilings and stuff like that, you can get a 2-tripod set with a crossbar. This is convenient if you have a studio space that's always set up. Otherwise you have to kind of haul out the tripods and set it up each time. And you can hang your equipment on the bar, but it kind of doesn't offer a lot of flexibility. You can't move your equipment, you can't pan down, you can't get closer to your subject very easily without having to lower the tripods and all that stuff. So the other option is to have a single tripod with a crossbar attached with a little revolving unit thingy. You need a sandbag to counterbalance it. You need to attach your camera to the end, and then it's kind of just a pivoting sort of motion, so it's not precise, and it's really hard to get your camera lined up, and again, you can't move it and change things very easily. Now the third option is to have some sort of extending arm. Now these can be bendy arms with that kind of bendy metal, but I did a little bit of research and I found this awesome item that I use all the time. It is this, and it is by Heron, and it is a 5-foot articulating arm camera mount that you can use for overhead shots. But you can also use this for so much more. And I find that since I've got this piece of equipment in my house, I use it for almost every single shoot. I even use it when I'm not shooting stuff well, I'll tell you a little bit about how I use it. It comes with several coil springs that you have to actually put on. That was the hardest part of unpacking this, is that you have to stretch these coil springs and put them in the slot. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 springs that you have to add on. So that was a little challenging, but once you get that done, it works really well. It's made from very sturdy aluminum materials. Each joint in the system has its own screw, so you can tighten them up if you don't want it to move. But if you leave them slightly untightened, they will stay where you leave them. There's like 6 or 7 pivot points on this arm, so you can get it to go all kinds of different configurations and move the camera at almost any different angle that you want, flip it around to do selfies, anything like that. So it's very, very flexible, very convenient, which a lot of other overhead camera mounts cannot say. There's a little bit of bounce in the machine, you know, when you move it, so you need to stabilize it. But I found that the arms will stay wherever you put them, and it's pretty good. The C-shape stabilizer handle allows you to mount 2 or even 3 pieces of equipment at the same time. You can put a camera on the base, a light on the top. There's all sorts of configurations you can use. This little unit here will rotate it, flip it up, flip it sideways. You know, it's a ball bearing, so, and that tightens it down. The camera can even move this way with this little pivot thing. It comes with a hot shoe mount here, so you can slide on like an LED light. Pretty easy. So it comes with an iPhone camera mount. You can also buy a separate tablet mount that you can put on here, and it will hold your tablet. So I got this unit to be an overhead camera, and it works great for that. And I haven't even really used it as an overhead camera yet, but I found so many other uses for this. When you have an overhead mount like this, you can use it as a script teleprompter kind of thing like this, where you can read your script, and you can even push it out of view of the camera, say like there, and then you can read your script to a reader and keep your hands free. I have a couple of these mini LED light panels from GVM, which I did another review on previously. You can check out that review. But you mount one of those on the thing, and you can lift it up and give yourself a rim light. So that gives you a little bit of hair color and lighting on your shoulders. You can use it to accentuate a backdrop, maybe change the color a little bit, or add a little pop of color to your hair, like that. Now, if you're a podcaster or a voiceover artist, you can mount your microphone on the boom and use it as a hands-free microphone option, as I am doing right now. And I find that I'm using it for a lot of other things, like if I have my VR headset on, I will put this above my head and run the cords up over the unit so that the cords are out of my way, or I'll mount one of my lights to it and put it over my desk and just use it as a general light when I'm working and I need to find things on my dark desktop. It's also very portable. You can take this with you, pack it up in a backpack or something and bring it with you. It's pretty easy to set up as well. If you do a lot of self-tapes at home and you put this camera on there, you can basically do a standing shot, and then if you need to get down closer to the ground, maybe you're sitting in a shot, you can just bring the camera down. You don't have to spend all your time adjusting a tripod, readjusting a tripod. The whole unit will rotate forward and backwards and around, so you can use this as a camera jib and get nice smooth shots. And you can also use it to pan down from overhead shots as well. And if you like to do camera shooting and different angles, you can get up high, like to do an overhead or a bird's eye, and you can get all the way down to the ground to do a lower angle view. See, I'm 6'5" and I'm in a really cramped room with a very sloped ceiling, so I can't even stand up all the way. So when I do my self-tape auditions, I kind of need to be kneeling, and right now I'm actually kneeling on the floor instead of standing. So bring all your equipment down with you, and you're good to go. My legs are falling asleep. Too old for this crap. Here we are. Okay. Now this will mount on any desk, table, anything with about an inch or 2 inches worth of a lip to secure it to. I have it attached here to my wooden bed frame, and it basically just screws in. You want to put a little cloth underneath to protect your surfaces from the screw mounts. And you want to make sure that you have enough lip on your desk to screw the mount on. You need about a good inch and a half, maybe 2 inches to be safe of edge. So make sure if you have a desk that the tabletop doesn't come flat to the desk. Make sure that there's a little bit of lip so that you can attach the grip to that lip. You can also mount it into this little holder here, which you can just screw into any surface. Now you can screw this into the floor, the ceiling, a wall, a beam, anything like that. One thing about this is that it only holds about 2 pounds of weight. So you want to make sure that you weigh your camera or your lights or your microphone or whatever you're going to put on it in advance before you buy it. Make sure that it's not over 2 pounds. If you put more than 2 pounds on here, it will slowly start sinking to the ground. If it's not over 2 pounds, it will stay pretty sturdy, You can mount any small DSLR camera. The mirrorless cameras, the lighter ones, are a little bit better. I found that my Canon EOS camera worked fine. If you're shooting with a lens, you got to weigh that as well. When I was shooting recently, I put my teleprompter kit, which is kind of a lens extension, on the front of my EOS camera, and that made it go over the 2 pounds of weight. So I had to take one of my lights off in order to balance the camera. So that's it. I just wanted to introduce you to one of my favorite products, the Heron C-clamp 5-foot articulating arm aluminum camera mount. But you don't need to remember that long name. I have links to this product down below and all the other products. So that's it. Thanks for joining me today. Remember to hit subscribe, like, share, all that crap. And if you're interested in some of the other products that I have talked about in this video, I have a playlist of products that I've reviewed previously. You might want to check that out. Have a good day. I will talk to you soon.